Welcome back. Episode 7. Talk how we talk sports talk. Today was a big day for us. Today we got the NBA trade deadline we're going to be discussing. I'm one of your hosts, David O.
D. Bruce,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be getting into it today, man. A lot of moves, some smaller moves, not nothing major, not too much noise going on, but what you got for us, D?
man. First things first, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man.
Already.
Yeah, shout
Already.
out to everybody that's already subscribed, everybody that's been commenting. Man, we
Yep.
see y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna
Yep.
keep this thing going. So make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel before we get started, man.
Yep. So for sure, like and subscribe. And to some of y'all who've been commenting, I've been going easy on y'all, but I'm about to start really getting a little more aggressive. Cause like y'all
Y'all
be
be
coming
going
with
hard.
y'all opinions and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to really give y'all my opinion, like for real, for real. So
Yeah,
y'all can just a little interaction. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been kind of taking it easy on
Yeah,
y'all,
y'all been
but
going kind of hard in them comments.
for real,
We've been keeping it professional with y'all.
yeah, for real, for real. Yeah,
Yeah, man. But man, we're gonna go ahead and dive into it, Do. Go ahead and dive into it like we always do, man. What you
yep,
think?
yep.
Uh Now what you think is a segment where, we choose certain topics and we give our perspective on each topic. And of course, everybody know that the trade deadline was today, at 3 p.m., I believe. And it's a lot of moves that took place and stuff like that. So, we're gonna go ahead and dive into some of the important moves that were made today, and just give you guys our perspective, man.
Yep.
So first things first, David O, AD to the Wizards, man. What you thinking?
Man, AD to the Wizards. We kind of talked about this on the last episode. How it was rumors that he was gonna get shopped around. And probably be leaving Dallas. And we kind of touched on, how, I just thought it was like silly in the first place to even bring him to Dallas. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? To let him, trade away Luka to get AD and you know so with AD going to the Wizards, I like AD. I always did like AD since New Orleans. I feel like when AD is the star of the team, he actually plays better.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he can control a game and when he got the ball more in his hands, that's when you see the real AD. I think when he pairs up with other superstars, it's like I don't think he just have that aggressiveness. I think he just kind of, play more laid back than when he has to put the team on his back. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you look at like when he was in New Orleans, I mean 40-point AD. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean he was cold and and
Right.
it's like towards the end when he kind of started to want to get away from there and kind of team up with LeBron, and the agent was kind of they trying to find any way they could to get him out of New Orleans and pair up with the Lakers. I just feel like when he went to the Lakers, yeah, they won the chip in the bubble, but you know AD just ain't really been the same, and it's kind of like LeBron always had to kind of like stay on him. It's like had to
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, like just kind of push him a lot. And
Right.
but to kind of speak on him going to the Wizards, I think, with him and Trey Young
Mm-hmm.
being over there too, they both injured right now.
Right.
But I think being healthy, if they both could stay healthy, I think, that combination would be a good combination.
Mm-hmm.
With Trey Young, Trey Young, he was putting up 30, 40 points a game too in
Right.
Atlanta. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's just they would make it to the playoffs and they couldn't get past that first round. So
Mm.
I think they both, carried their teams a long time when they were the star player of the team. But
Right.
I think with them two teaming up, I think that could be good for Washington because, we really ain't hear nothing really about Washington being in the fold for a long time,
A
man.
long
Like
time.
last time from what I can recall when Washington was good was Gilbert Arenas. And
Yeah.
Rip Hamilton went over there after
Right.
he left, like Detroit, I think.
And then
Um,
John Wall.
yeah, John Wall too. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? That era. You know what I'm saying? But like that's really what the last time I really remember the Wizards being of you know, any talk.
mm,
So I think AD and Trey Young will be a good pairing if they can
mm,
stay healthy and maybe get some role players a little bit, or get some depth like we was just talking about, before the show started. Get
mm,
some depth around those two guys, and I think it would be good, but I don't think it would be good very long, just because both of those, AD getting older, Trey Young still kind of younger, but they AD gotta stay healthy because like when he came to Dallas, he played the first game. The first game he came to Dallas, he got hurt.
mm-hmm.
He put up 30 something points that game, and then by the end of the game he was hurt. And then it's like he just been injury prone, so he got to stay healthy. But like I said, when he's been the star of the team, he's been real good. When he's the star, when he don't
Right.
gotta worry about sharing the ball or not touching the ball as much.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. What you think?
Uh, man, I have like two things that I feel kind of like about the situation. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of like, I mean, 80 to the Wizards. I like it. I feel like the Wizards, like you say, they trying to regain some relevancy. Um, adding Trey Young, adding AD, and then you got Alex Saw out there. You got a lot of young players around um that they drafted in the draft. So I definitely see what the Wizards doing. They definitely trying to, get back into contention and competing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I kind of like the trade, because Trey Young and AD, it's and a lot of good young players around them. I think the Wizards are gonna be able to build off of that um and start to compete. But like you said, it's kind of like AD has had a serious problem with being available and standing on the court, being injury prone, and I always go back every time I think about AD. I'm a Pelicans fan, so like
Yeah.
I always go back to like what you were saying about how Rich Paul and AD was trying to you know um I guess reel their way out of New Orleans, and AD was making it seem like it was the organization, et cetera, and stuff like that. But me being a Pels fan for a long time, um, a lot of the problems were kind of AD's fault because it was the same thing in New Orleans. It was like he never was healthy. He always was injured. And when they did put good players around him, he was injured, he was hurt. So the team never really had an opportunity to become competitive when he was there. And it's like I feel like what I thought at that period of time is starting to show because it seemed like everywhere that AD has went in the last couple of years, it's kind of always been the same situation. Like, like you said, when he was out there with LeBron, uh, LeBron had to kind of like push him and,
Mm-hmm.
make him get his body right and get himself back together. And, then he go to Dallas and it was kind of the same situation. And it's just, so I just think, with AD, man, the problem has just always been health and being available, man. But like you said, when he's healthy and he's playing, AD, man, he'll, 30, 40 point, 10 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? He gonna ball out.
Yeah.
But it's just when he's available.
Yeah. But kind of like how I was talking about, like them trying to get depth around the team. They did get some other players. Washington did get some other players with the trade besides AD. They got Jaden Hardy, they got
Hmm.
D'Angelo Russell, and they got
Yeah.
Dante Exum, if I'm
Yeah.
pronouncing his name right.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
they did get a couple of players in the trade. But I think Dallas is the real winner of the trade because I'm looking at it right now, bro. And what they got in this trade, I mean, they got
That's
Chris
facts.
Middleton,
Facts.
AJ Johnson,
Hmm.
Tyus Jones,
Yeah.
Marvin Bagley the third.
Hmm.
They got a 2026 first round pick from
Hmm.
Oklahoma City. They got a 2030 first round pick from Golden State. And
Hmm.
then they got three future second round picks.
Mm-hmm.
from Washington.
Yeah.
So they loaded up on draft picks,
Mm-hmm.
and they got, they loaded up on depth as well.
Right.
And to be honest with you, Dallas didn't really have to give up nothing much. They still kept Kyrie Irving. They
Mm-hmm.
got Cooper Flag. They
Mm-hmm.
still got Klay Thompson, and now
Mm-hmm.
they adding all of these players with these picks. So I'm looking for Dallas to be, I'm looking for Dallas to be a contender in the next coming years. I see
Mm-hmm.
what Dallas doing.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas is they give away Luka, but to be honest with you, with this AD trade, I mean, they got a lot back, you know.
Right.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then they got a future star in Cooper Flag. So I would say in this trade, I would say Dallas is the winner of this trade.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And then it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the last episode, and it was kind of like how I was telling you how Dallas is kind of starting to shift towards building around Cooper Flag. So I think that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the reason for them trying to gather these draft picks and stuff like that, so they can start, building a team. You know what I'm saying, around him. And
Mm-hmm.
now you pick up AJ Johnson. I know a lot about AJ Johnson. AJ Johnson is gonna be a star in the league. He hasn't really played a whole lot in Washington, but I feel like AJ Johnson is a real talented young kid. I think he's like maybe 19 or 20 or something like that. He's a point guard.
Yeah.
Um,
He was born in
but
2004, so he probably
yeah,
like around 21, 22,
yeah,
something like that.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, AJ Johnson is gonna be a star. So that was a good pickup for Dallas as well, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Dallas won this trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know that right there up the street, you know what I'm saying? 3, 4 hours from Houston. So, I
Right.
might not only be going to some Rockets games, I might be going to some Mavericks games too. Plus my brother
Mm-hmm.
stay in Dallas. So shout out to Dallas.
Yeah, shout out to Dallas, man. Next up, man, Harden to the Cavs. Dio, what you feeling?
Harden to the Cavs, bro. I actually I like that. I like Harden to the Cavs because, I mean, I just don't think him and Kawhi in LA, the Clippers, I don't think they just gelled. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like they both kind of quiet, and you can't have two quiet players, like two superstars that's both quiet. Like somebody got to be the leader. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I just felt like neither one, while they was in LA, I felt like neither one really took on the role of being a leader. I think they just played together and was kind of just, hoping for the best type situation, right, with the Clippers. So, and Tyronn Lue, he a good coach and everything. He won the championship in Cleveland, with LeBron and everything, and they tried to bring him to LA to, get that team on track and stuff like that, which they have been doing good the last couple of games. It was on a win streak thanks to James Harden, you know what I'm saying, and Kawhi Leonard starting to play ball and play better. But I think those two guys, they need their own teams.
Mm.
Like, because if you notice, when Kawhi was in San Antonio, you know, he won championship in San Antonio, you know what I'm saying? And he never really like let his game down, and Harden never really let his game down either. They both, ever since they left, Texas, because when Harden was in Texas with the Rockets, he was doing his thing, 30, 40 point night games. Like I said, when Kawhi was in San Antonio, he was doing his thing. And when they both left, they both kept they scoring up. I know Harden kind of bounced around more than Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't went to he was in
Philly.
Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Philly, in LA. So Harden kind of bounced around more. But I like him going to the Clippers. I mean, not the Clippers. I like him going to the Cavs because I'm really excited to see what him and Donovan Mitchell can do together. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Donovan Mitchell, he been a good player ever since he was with the Jazz. With
Mm-hmm.
him and Rudy Gobert,
Mm-hmm.
they broke that up, and he been doing his thing with the Cavs. So I like that with Harden going there. I would like to see that combination. And I was kind of watching the show earlier, and man, Cleveland might surprise us come the summer. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a hometown hero that might be
Mm,
becoming a free agent,
mm-hmm,
and if he go back to Cleveland,
mm-hmm.
if
Yeah,
LeBron go back to Cleveland, you
it's
know
gonna
what I'm
be a
saying?
problem.
Cleveland, man, if LeBron go back to Cleveland, bro, with Harden and Donovan Mitchell,
Mm,
man, them
yeah,
boys gonna be cold, man.
that's
The East gonna be back for Cleveland. You know what
right.
I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm,
and that's a championship team right there.
mm-hmm,
especially with they got the big man in Allen, so
mm-hmm,
they got the big man, they got the point, they got
mm-hmm,
Harden at the guard, got LeBron at the forward,
mm-hmm,
man. So I like the trade. I like the trade. You know, and I know the Clippers they received Darius Garland, and
mm-hmm,
they also received a future second round pick
mm,
from the Clippers. So neither side really had to give up much. You know what I'm saying? So, both teams kind of still kept they depth, kept their current players. They just added, each one added a piece that they felt they needed to add. So I
mm-hmm.
like the trade. I like that neither team had to give up nothing much. But I'm excited to see James Harden play with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, man. I gotta agree with you on that, man. I feel like it was a good trade for both parties. Um, Cleveland didn't really have to give up much. Um, the Clippers didn't really have to give up much. I guess the Clippers kind of wanted to go in a little bit younger direction.
Yep.
Getting, Darius Garland
Yep.
and shipping out James Harden. But I mean, I like it for both teams. I feel like, it's probably gonna be yet to be seen if Donovan Mitchell and James Harden can both coexist because they both real ball dominant. So it's kind of gonna be, you know, something that we need to watch for and see if they can coexist together and play
Yeah.
together. But I feel like I agree with you on that. Like if they can play together, you know, they might surprise some people in the Eastern Conference, even if LeBron don't even go there. I mean, because you know Cleveland didn't really give up anything, so they
Yeah.
still, like you say, they still have Allen, they still have depth. They have a good coach. Um, so I think Cleveland gonna be a problem, man. Two big scores like Donovan Mitchell, James
Yep.
Harden. You got rebounding, you got defending.
Yeah.
Um, so I
I
ain't
mean,
gonna
just
lie,
with them two
man.
guys right there, just with those two guys right there. I mean, that's anywhere on an average night. That's at least 50. You know what I'm
That's
saying? They
50.
both gonna give you at least 25. And
That's
on
true.
good nights,
On a good night.
it could be 60 to 80 points just between
Mm,
them two players right there.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like it, and they both can bring the ball up the court.
Right.
You
True.
know,
True.
Harden
Yeah.
Harden can bring the ball up the court. Mitchell can bring the ball up the court. So you
Mm-hmm.
got two players that can bring the ball up the court, create their own shots, create their own points.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it.
I like it, man. I think with that coach that they have, I feel like, you know, he's a good enough coach to, be able to figure it out as far as, the chemistry and them gelling together and stuff like that. I think, he can maybe figure out, how it's gonna work as far as when it comes to offensively and getting guys they touches and stuff like that, to,
Yeah,
try to build that chemistry to make a run. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you say earlier too, it's just can they coexist together? Because like you say, they both kind of ball dominant. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So we just gotta wait to see how it's gonna play out. But I really two players I always did want to win a ring: Chris Paul
Mm-hmm.
and James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both of those guys then put in the work in the league, and I know they both been trying to go to teams to win championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Paul left the Pelicans, he went to Clippers. He didn't been on the Warriors. He didn't been on the Spurs. On some 1 year deal type things. Just trying to find a team where he can land to try to win that championship. So I always been rooting for Chris Paul. I know he just got traded to the Raptors. They kind of say like he might not have to report to Toronto because he may be, waived or let go or something like that. I think
Mm-hmm.
they just moved him just to kind of move him. however that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do hope that if he do get picked up, you know, that he can get picked up by a team that may have a chance in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That way, he can try to make one more run at least, even if he
Mm-hmm.
not starting, coming off the bench, providing some of that veteran, and still, putting up some points. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then Harden, he always been good wherever he went. He always played the game well. He always put teams on his back. So he came close a couple times. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He came close with the Thunder. He came close with the Rockets. When him and Chris Paul was together before Chris Paul got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been having some good runs. It's just neither one could get over the hump. So I always wanted them two guys to win a championship. So,
Yeah.
maybe this is Harden year, to go in the East because the East is really not that strong. East
Mm-hmm.
really not that strong. Besides Detroit and besides Boston, you
And the
really don't really
Knicks.
got a lot of strong teams in the East.
Can't forget about the Knicks.
Oh yeah, the Knicks. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The Knicks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So those three teams: Knicks, Boston, Detroit, and then Cleveland. So
Mm-hmm.
the East is pretty much open, man. And with
Right.
and with Cleveland adding the James Harden, they
Yeah.
got a good chance.
Mm-hmm. Jaren Jackson to the Jazz. Do what you think?
Man, I'm gonna let you take this one to be honest with you, because I really don't know much about Jackson. I kind of been hearing some stuff that he's very good defensively, and that he
Mm-hmm.
had won, defensive player of the year,
Mm-hmm.
before. But I really don't know much about him, man. I really haven't really watched this game. I know came from the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really ain't been keeping up with the Grizzlies that much. Besides, John Morant. John Morant didn't get moved. I know we
Mm-hmm.
kind of talked about it a
Mm-hmm.
couple episodes back, we kind of mentioned that there was some rumors about Miami and maybe New Orleans. None of that came to fruition. So John Morant stays in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So more to come on that, see how that plays out. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, what you think? I do know that Lonzo Ball got traded to the Jazz. So I was kind of
Yeah.
looking at Lonzo Ball and Jackson maybe teaming up, but I kind of been hearing that Lonzo Ball
Yeah.
might
He
get
got
waived
waved.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got waved today.
he got waived. So
Mm-hmm.
no telling what's gonna happen with him. But yeah, what you
Yeah.
think on Jackson?
Uh, I think it's a it's a it's a good move, but also a questionable move. And I'm gonna say I'm saying that to say this. For the Jazz is a good move. Because I've watched a lot of Jazz games this season. I really like Keontae George and Laura Marketing. Both of those are two good players. And the Jazz already have some good young talent. And then now you add Jaren Jackson Jr. to that young core. They also have a good coach as well as in Will Hardy. So um, I think it's a good move for the Jazz. Is definitely gonna take the Jazz to the next level.
Okay.
Um, but it's a questionable move for the Memphis Grizzlies because I'm trying to figure out what are they trying to build there or what are they trying to do there? Because
Yeah.
when Jackson was traded, I kind of felt like, okay, I was like, well, if Jackson was traded, then they must be gonna trade Ja because they must be trying to go on a rebuild.
Rebuild.
But
Yep.
Ja didn't get traded.
Yep.
So to me, I'm just kind of like, man, it's a questionable decision for the Grizzlies. I don't really know what the Grizzlies are doing. And like you said, it's something that we're gonna have to, continue paying attention to. As far as the Ja Morant situation. Um, but I'm just kind of questioning why would the Grizzlies trade away Jaren Jackson Jr. because he's been their most consistent scorer um when they were without Ja Morant. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like, man, why would you move him, you know, and then keep Ja Morant? And it's kind of like, what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the Grizzlies are doing. It's a questionable move for me, but a good move for the Jazz, though. The Jazz definitely did get better with acquiring Jaren Jackson Jr. I gotta say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it looked like it was an 8-player trade. Utah received 4 players, Memphis received 4 players, and Memphis also received 3 future first round picks.
Mm,
Bro, that's huge. I
that's
didn't I didn't even
huge.
know that until I just
That's
looked that up.
huge. Yeah,
Three
that's
future
huge.
first round picks,
3 first-round picks. That's huge. That's
bro.
huge.
Bro,
Yeah.
just so yeah, so it looks like Memphis. It looked like they they just went to rebuild mode,
Yeah.
and I think they may. I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at John Morant contract. It says John Morant is under contract with the Grizzlies through 2027-2028 season. He is
Mm-hmm.
currently in the third year of a 5-year, $197 million rookie extension
Mm-hmm.
signed in 2022, and it does not have a player opt out. And they
Well,
say right now he's owed over 40 million annually through the final 2 years of his deal.
this the thing. I still feel like um, I still feel like the Grizzlies are gonna move on from Ja Morant.
Yeah,
I don't know why I still had that feeling, but I just had that feeling, and I think that trade that you just spoke about is kind of like an indication because the Grizzlies, like you said, they received uh 3 first-round picks, correct?
yeah,
So 3 first-round picks, so that's basically going in rebuilding mode. So uh I don't really think the Grizzlies are gonna stick with Ja Morant. I think at some point they're gonna move him. And I read a report today that was saying that I think they were trying to aggressively trade Ja Morant, but um it said that nobody really wanted him.
I was just
Nobody was
about to say
interested.
that too.
Yeah,
Like you could try to trade somebody, but
right.
at the end of the day, if nobody don't want them, or if no, or if you may be asking for too much, when other teams may feel like his stock not as high as it used to be, you know,
True.
they got the leverage. The other teams,
Right.
the teams you trying to trade that player to, have the leverage
Right.
because they don't have to take your player.
Right.
They don't have to give up their assets to take your player. You the one trying to move the player, not
Mm.
the other team. So sometimes, when you're trying to trade these guys, the teams you're trying to trade them to really have the leverage. And I
Right.
think that's why a lot of names that we might have thought, was gonna move, like Giannis and John Morant and some of the other players we had talked about. I think maybe that's why they didn't get moved because the teams that they team was, negotiating with was like,
Nah.
we ain't willing to give up all that. We ain't willing
Right.
to give up all that. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And
True.
maybe um maybe the Grizzlies maybe just want to try to work it out with John Morant. I know, he didn't have a lot of issues there, but maybe they feel like, hey, because I'm looking at it right here, and they say he's eligible to sign a 3-year extension
Mm.
after the 2025-2026 season. So I don't know. Maybe they
But
might give him another year, just to kind of see if things can change.
but
Because with the trade, they got these other players. They got 3 future first round picks. Maybe they might think it's still some hope for Ja.
but this is the thing though, Dio. This is my thing. Like, okay, if you if okay, Ja Morant been there for a long time, and I'm sure at this point, he wants to win, and it's
Yeah,
like, okay, you traded away the guys that could possibly help you, build a winner, but you still have Ja Morant, so it's kind of like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's still like a question mark because even with Ja Morant, you gave away your other best player in Jaren
yeah,
Jackson Jr.
yeah.
So, and draft picks, that's gonna be potential based. You know what I'm
Potential,
saying?
yeah.
Even if you draft these players, you don't really know what they're gonna turn out to be. So it's
Or
kind of like
maybe they might be using John Morant, like to pair with those future round
true.
picks
That's
to
a
get
good
a
one.
big name, because a lot of teams that be like in ready to give up their star player and go into rebuilding mode, they be wanting
True,
those picks. You know
true,
what I'm
true,
saying?
true.
So they may be looking to say, hey, yeah, we got these other players, but we got 3 future first round picks that we can pair with Ja to maybe move Ja in these picks and get some, some capital back. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? From a team that's willing to, play ball and accept them. So I think those 3 future round picks make Ja a little more interesting to some teams, you
True.
know,
I agree.
because with Ja by himself, like and the issues he's been having, it's like, you might want to take a chance with him. But look, you give us them 3 first-round picks with him.
True. True.
Yeah.
That make the trade a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yep.
agree. I agree with that. Porzingis to the Warriors, Dio. What you think?
Man, I was actually shocked when I seen that one. Like when I seen that one, I was like, Porzingis. I'm like, yeah, I know he played in Boston, and he was doing his, he was there for the playoff run. He wasn't there much of the season. He was there for the playoff run, but kind of like what we talked about with AD. He'd be hurt. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He
True.
get hurt easily
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But I'm trying to look for it right now. I was just looking at it actually. There you go right here. So yeah, so Warriors and Hawks did this deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Warriors is getting Porzingis, but Atlanta is getting, I don't know how
Jonathan
to pronounce
Kaminga.
Kaminga.
Uh-huh.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Hill.
Yeah.
So I think Atlanta won in this trade because
True.
they getting Kaminga, they getting Buddy Hill. They just got rid of Trey Young and got CJ McCollum. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So now you got CJ McCollum, Buddy Hill, Kaminga. I think Atlanta won this because they got three players that they can, start to build around and start to, have chemistry, start to build chemistry with and look towards the future. Because I mean, I don't think none of these guys is really that old. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Nah.
Like for the Hawks,
Mm-mm.
what they was doing with Porzingis, I think, I don't know what the Warriors really was thinking with this one. Like, I know Jimmy Butler got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and I know Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hill was kind of like, good friends or whatever, while they was playing together and stuff like that. So maybe that played a role into it. It was like, since Butler ain't here, he hurt for the season. Let's try to make a move while we can make a move. But I don't really know why they made this trade for Porzingis. To be honest with
Right.
you, I really don't know
Um.
why.
I mean, I'm kind of, I'm kind of with you on that one. I really don't know what was the point of it. But I do know, there was a little bit of tension and some turmoil there with Jonathan Kaminga. That's been
Kaminga.
going on for
Yeah.
a while now. So,
Yep.
maybe it was just a trade to just, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you said, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis, I mean, he's always hurt. Um,
Yep.
but I mean, I can say like when he is healthy, he is a factor. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, you give up shooting with Buddy Hill, and then you get Porzingis. So, um, like I said, I don't know, man. I'm agreeing with you on now. I don't know what was the point of that trade. The only thing I could really think about is, um, it has to be to move Jonathan Kaminga because, like I
Yeah.
said, there's been some serious tension between Jonathan Kaminga and the organization
Yeah.
for a
Him and
while
Steve
now.
Kerr.
So
Yeah. They, they,
yeah, him
they
and
were
Steve
saying
Kerr as
him and
well,
Steve Kerr wouldn't, getting along real
seeing eye
good.
to eye.
So I think maybe, I think, like you say, they did it to get rid of him and just to get a big back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got rid
Mm-hmm.
of a big to get a big back. But I don't think it I don't think it gives Golden State a boost, to be honest
Right.
with you,
Right.
because right now they're eighth in the West. You got the Suns in front of them at number 7, Lakers at number 6, Timberwolves at number 5, Rockets at number 4, Nuggets at number 3, Spurs at number 2, Thunders at number 1. And we already know the Western Conference is a loaded conference, and all of those teams I just mentioned is good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a lot from Golden State to try to move up in the standings and in the rankings. And I
Mm-hmm.
just don't think Porzingis can give them that push they need to get over some of these teams that's solid teams.
Right.
So
I
yeah, I
just
think I
think
think Atlanta won this one.
I just think with the Warriors, I don't know, this is just my opinion, but I just think with the Warriors, man, I think the worst thing they could have done was let Klay Thompson walk out the door.
Oh yeah, real
Uh,
talk.
that's what I feel. I just
Me
feel
and my
like once
son
they
was
broke
talking
up
about
that
that the other
core,
day, bro. Like
yeah, once they broke that core up, I just felt like it was like the worst thing they could have done.
yeah, that
Uh,
core, bro. Like you said, that core, that chemistry. Like you don't break up championship teams, dog.
no, No,
You don't break
you
up a
don't.
championship team. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing like if you watch that movie about the Bulls, The Last Dance, how they
Mm-hmm.
was trying to break up Jordan and Pippen and Rodman and all of them boys after they had
Right.
already won 3. And it's like you don't break up championship teams. You give them what they asking for.
Right.
All Klay Thompson wanted was to get paid,
Just
bro.
he just wanted to get paid.
He wanted to get paid, dog.
Yeah.
And they, they let him walk. They let him
Right.
walk like Splash Brothers.
Splash
Them
Brothers.
boys got the name for a reason.
Right. Right.
When you was on, if you watching Curry, Clay knocking him down. If you try to watch Clay, Curry taking over,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, now
Them
look
boys
at
was
y'all.
dangerous, man. Them boys was dangerous, and they would have still been dangerous right now. You
Exactly.
know, I think they gave up on Clay a little bit too early, man. I think Clay
Yep.
Thompson, you know, he eventually he was gonna get healthy. But the thing about Clay Thompson is like he don't really need to be like I wouldn't say 100%, but he's a shooter.
Yeah.
So I mean, all he need to do is get to his spots and
Get to his
launch and
spot,
it's
passing
bucket,
the ball, stop and pop.
stop and pop. That's it.
Yep.
And I feel like it hasn't worked out with him in Dallas because
Yeah.
I just feel like Jason Kidd doesn't really know how to play Klay Thompson,
Yeah.
and it's like he's struggling there because I just think Jason Kidd don't really know what to do with him. Steve
Yeah.
Kerr knew what to do with Klay Thompson and how to
Yeah.
play him, and that's
Yeah.
why he was so effective.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. I was scared of that dude, bro. Anytime that dude would touch the ball, I'm like, it's going in.
it's
It's
going in.
going in. And I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, it would get under me so much because it's like, your team, and you're not rooting for Golden State. You're rooting for the other team. The other team, they in the game, and it's like it's a close game, and then them boys just catch fire, and it's like bomb, 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 and I'm like, bruh. So yeah, they should
man,
have never let Clay go.
that was
And
the
like you
worst
said, yeah,
mistake.
he ain't been doing that good in Dallas. But injuries, the team not really like we talked about the other day. They got, on paper, Dallas should have been a better team on paper,
I
but
agree.
being Kyrie hurt, AD hurt, Clay Thompson, he really don't. He's not really a playmaker. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? He got a he move he scores better moving off the ball. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He's not a person that you can ball. He's not ball dominant. Like you
Right.
said, he's a shooter.
Hmm.
So, and in order for him to get to his spots and get the ball, he needs other people to kind of, I guess if you want to call it like set him up. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, and right now he don't got nobody to set him up.
Mm-mm. Nope. Alvarado to the Knicks. Dio, what you think?
Man, that's your player right there. That's your team right there, man. Hey, man, when I seen that trade, I was like, I'm
I
not
was
even
hurt.
gonna say nothing
I
about
ain't
this
gonna
one. I'm gonna
lie,
let you
man.
do all the
I'm
talking
hurt, bro.
about this one, bro.
Yeah, I'm
That
hurt
that's
about that one, man. I ain't go front. I feel like, you know, um, I feel like we kind of. I ain't gonna say one off the trade. I mean, we got what we needed because we definitely needed picks. But I just feel like it could have been somebody else. But besides Alvarado, man, because Alvarado just brought that energy, that defense, and he's been playing so well for us to where it's just like it's hard to see him go, But we did get picks back for him, and I don't really know what the Knicks were doing but that's what we kind of go back to what we was talking about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks add more depth to that team by bringing
yeah,
in Alvarado. That's
yep,
what I'm saying, man. Like the Knicks, I'm still saying this: the Knicks are gonna be a problem in the
yeah.
Eastern Conference, bro. I'm telling you.
They on an 8-game winning streak right
I'm
now.
telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Plus they won
But
the cup earlier. And then
yeah,
last year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Knicks is definitely on the rise. They
yeah, the
definitely
Knicks
on
on
the
the
rise.
rise. But yeah, for me as a Pelicans fan, it definitely was, a heartbreaker. But I kind of like the fact that we did get some picks out of this trade,
Yeah,
which we really needed, because we traded away our first round pick in this year's draft for Derek Queen.
yeah,
So We definitely needed some picks in this year's draft, most definitely. So,
Yeah, it looks like y'all got 2 second round picks
mm-hmm.
from what I'm seeing here. So
Yeah,
yeah, man. You
yeah,
know, I know you've been talking about the Pelicans a lot, and I think that they still got solid depth there. You know,
yeah,
y'all they still
absolutely.
got Queens. You know, they got Zion. They got Fierce.
Trey
You know,
Murphy.
Murphy. You know, so I think they still got a good team. I think they just I ain't been really watching them a lot this season. You know, but I think they still got a lot of depth. I
I
think the
think
Pelicans
so.
have got a lot of depth, and if they can just find a way to win games, they could be
That's it.
dangerous too.
That's it, man. That's all they
And
need to do. They just got to find a way to win games. But then I'm not really sure if James Borrego is the guy as far as the coach just yet. I
yeah,
think they might need a different leader in the locker room because they talent wise and like you say, depth is there, but
yeah,
they just not winning games.
they not. Hey, you know what they need? They need some veteran leadership over there, man. Bring Chris Paul back.
That's true. I was thinking about that too. That'd be
Bring
nice.
Chris Paul back, man.
Bring Chris Paul back. Yep,
Bring him back to the NO, man. Let him
that'd
finish
be
his
good.
career in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, and with that depth that they got there, you know, he can definitely be a great mentor to this young team,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, show some of these guys, you know, the way. You know, he was a former NBA Players Association president. You know what I'm saying? So I think bringing Chris Paul back to the Pelicans might be, you know, something. You know, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but as a fan, I would
Yeah.
like to see Chris Paul go back to New Orleans.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah. Not since we on Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul to the Raptors, Dio. What you think?
Man, like I said, man, I want to see him back in New Orleans. So I kind of heard that, you know, he don't have to go to Toronto. You know, I kind of heard that they might, you know, waive him or do something with him. But like, I don't know what they plan on doing. But I kind of heard that he don't really have to go there. It was just kind of like a move the Clippers made, I guess, to get him off of their team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want Chris Paul. No, even if he stay in, even if he do go to the Toronto and end up being there in Toronto, you know, like I just kind of talked about with New Orleans. You know, he's a veteran. You know, he always had great leadership, and you know, I think he can, you know, go in there with a veteran's presence and still, you know, give some of those younger players on that team, you know, some of that guidance and as well, and just be because you know he's at the point in his career right now to where we ain't asking for him to be the starter. We ain't asking for him to put the team on his back anymore. We just asking for him to come in there and give us some glimpses
Mm-hmm.
of what Chris Paul used to be. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? We're not
right.
asking for it every night, but
Mm-hmm.
when we call your number, when we bring you off that bench, give us a little spark, which I think
Right.
he still, you know, he still can do in the right environment. You know, now
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul, he another one that, you know, be injured a lot, and that comes with age and stuff. You know, he's been in the league for a while, but if he don't stay in Toronto, bring him back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Let me see him back in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think with Chris Paul, man, I feel like, I didn't really know that the Raptors hadn't planned on keeping him. And I feel like if they do decide to waive him, um, and no one picks Chris Paul up, man, I just think this might be the last that we see of Chris Paul, man. He's like you say, he's a veteran. Uh, he's, pretty much at the later stages of his career. But I still do feel like Chris Paul still have a lot left in the tank though. So I hope that somebody pick him up, obviously, CP3 is a winner. He plays hard. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely would want to see him somewhere, but like you say, going back to NO would be, nice because that's where he started his career. So it would be good for him to end it there. Um, be a good story. But
Yep.
we'll see, man. I don't know.
Yeah, because they was talking about him. You know, they was talking about like I kind of heard some stuff, you know, a while back that they were saying like he made his career in LA with the Clippers, you know. But man, Chris
Nah.
Paul made his career
Chris
before that. He
and
made
yeah,
his career in New
in New
Orleans.
Orleans. Yeah,
That's where he got his name, man. Now, don't get me
absolutely.
wrong. He went to Clippers and did his thing with
Hmm.
Blake Griffin.
Right.
But CP3, that's from New Orleans, man.
That's New
Don't try
Orleans,
to
man.
take that away from us, bro.
All day.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I would, because they were kind of saying like how he might have would have ended his career there, but then you know how that went sour with, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was management, coaching staff, or what, ownership or whatever, how that relationship soured.
Mm-hmm.
But we still got love for him in those. So
Yeah.
if anybody know Chris Paul that's gonna be watching this, or then send it to him. You know, maybe he could talk with his agent, get some people involved. Look, and you know, just come back to New Orleans. Even like I see, even on like a retirement type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't like I say, man, you know, hopefully, you know, we see Chris Paul somewhere else, man. Uh, you know, I'm hoping we can see him somewhere else, man. Hopefully he can end his career, you know, on the basketball court and you know, not, you know, sitting at home, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping we can see Chris Paul on a different team, man. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I know. I don't know if you got this one on the list or not, but Kobe White was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Kobe White got traded to the Hornets.
Uh-huh.
Kobe White and Mike Conley Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte receives both of those players. And then Chicago receives Colin Sexton. I didn't even know that dude was still in the league.
Yeah, he's still in the league.
And then they got some dude name I can't even pronounce. Usmanding.
Yeah. I
And
don't know
then
who that is.
they got one, two, three. They ended up getting 3 second round picks. Chicago did a
Mm-hmm.
2029 second round pick, a 2031 second round pick, and then another 2031 second round pick. But so you know, Chicago looked like they on a rebuild because they didn't got rid of Kobe White. They got rid of Zach LaVine. You know, previously as well. So it looks like Chicago might be on in a rebuilding stage. You know, trying to rebuild and accumulate some picks. You know, not really many star players that I know of over there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like Charlotte. I do like Charlotte with LaMelo Ball. You know, but not, like you say, I think what team that was when we was. I think that was me and you talking about that. How it was another team that like the Magics, how they got like a bunch of guards
Mm.
or whatever. And it looks
Right.
like that's what
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte doing right now. You know what I'm saying? You got
Right.
Ball, you got White, you got Conley Jr., you got a bunch of guards. You know what I'm saying? Now
Mm-hmm.
my what you call it? Charlotte been on a winning streak too recently. I know they hadn't
Mm-hmm.
been doing real good in the East, but you know, they've been on a win streak recently. So I do like LaMelo Ball and I do like Kobe White. I do like him because I like his game from Chicago. So I think between that trade, I think Charlotte, you know, won that trade for sure. Just what they're gonna do with
Right.
all those guards.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But not too much no major news. No major players, you know, went on the move tonight. You know, so we'll see how the rest of the season play out. You know, and we'll see what happened this off season. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to talk how we talk sports talk. You know, this is episode 7. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend. You know, jump in those comments. You know, we definitely want to engage with y'all. And like I said earlier in the show, I've been going easy on y'all, but I ain't going easy on y'all no more. So it's about to get
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, we
It's
about
about
to
to get
get
real. Hey, it's about to get real. I'm about to get real.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all gonna see me. Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all gonna see the real me come out, like
Yeah,
for
y'all
real.
been
Cause
talking real reckless in them comments.
yeah. Talk about
Yeah.
we don't know what we talking about and we
Yeah.
clueless and all this type of stuff. Look, bro, this is a sports fan show. We never claim to be no analysts. We never claim to be no broadcasters. We just two Louisiana boys talking sports. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
just giving our opinion and our perspective on the game and how
Mm-hmm.
what we think about certain things, and how talk how we talk. So you
Right.
know what I'm saying? To everybody that's in the comments though, thank y'all for commenting. We appreciate the comment. But definitely like and subscribe. Get our channel up. Get our subscribers up and get our views up. And we appreciate y'all, man. Until next time, talk how we talk.
Talk how we talk. Sports talk, man. We out, man.